Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm so happy you're here today. And yeah, so this build is just to say a little thank you to my new followers on Twitter and my new subscribers on YouTube. And yeah, I'm just so grateful to you guys for believing in me and supporting me like you do. So I just wanted to do something a little special, a little different. When I built this, it was actually snowing outside. But I really wanted to do something I haven't really done before, and so I decided to do kind of like a beach home on stilts or columns. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here, and I really like how it came out. Another thing I really wanted to do was make sure it was all completely base game, just Sims 4 vanilla items for you guys, because I know not everybody has all of the game packs, all of the stuff packs, and yeah, so maybe this is something you might be interested in. I think I saw that Origin is down right now, but I'll make sure to upload it as soon as I can for you all. My @ name on the gallery is IrrelephantSims, although I did try to search for my name like through the browser and it wasn't coming up, so I don't know why that is, but I think if you actually search within the gallery on when you're in the game, I think you can find me there, but I don't know what's going on with the actual browser gallery. But oh well. I was really inspired by beach homes that are on the East Coast, so it's going to be a little traditional. I imagined a family of 3 living here, and 2 parents and a kid. So yeah, I think it turned out really nice. It's very cozy. It's not a big home or anything, and it's just a small, dainty home on the beach. The only place I figured it would make sense to put it was on the island in Windenburg, so that's where it is, but I'm sure you'll be able to put it in one of your base game worlds if you don't have get together. So yeah, I was placing quite a bit of balconies around the house and also stairs to get from the top floor to the ground floor. There's one in the back of the house and there's one in the front of the house, and really either side could be the front or the back, like whichever side you want. I moved around the stairs a few times just because I really wanted the door to be in the middle, and I feel like the stairs were in the way, so I tried to move that over, and it took me a few attempts, but I got it in the end. But yeah, in quite a few of the reference pictures I looked at for beach homes, and especially on the East Coast, they had traditional elements such as like the trim that went around the house, as well as a lot of whites and siding, and but yeah. So here I'm just moving up the columns. If you don't know, you press Control and the 9 key or the 0 key to move it up and down, but you have to put in CC, or wait, is it, no, BB dot move objects on, and there's a space in between objects and on, and then you just hit enter, and you'll be able to move columns up and down like that. But it was kind of irritating because when the side of the house that I wanted to be the front, when I switched it, I had to replace the columns I had just put, which you'll see here, because when I rotated the lot, the columns just kind of like disappeared. So moving on to the inside, this is the kitchen, and it's right when you come through the front door, and that glitch is still happening with the cabinets where it's darker than everything else for no reason. Oh, one day. But anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to make like a cozy beach kitchen, or what I remember, because I used to live in Florida and I've stayed at a many beach hotels and condos. So I was just trying to invoke that same feeling that I remember seeing when I stayed at these places, as well as thinking about the family that lives here. And I imagine that, like I said before, the family is a 3-person family, and the parents are maybe a little older, and they had their kid later in their lives. A lot of the inside is very traditional, and yeah, that's what I was thinking. And also keep in mind that all this stuff is just Sims 4 base game, like vanilla items. So I didn't have too much to work with. So I was like, oh my gosh, it was actually harder than I thought it would be, because I'm so used to having almost all the packs. So I was like, oh, I wish I could use this item or this thing, but I couldn't. So it was kind of a nice little challenge for me, just not being able to really use everything that I normally use. So yeah, it was really good. So this area is like a little study nook, because there's not really any room for an office. So I thought this place would be the best place for a little desk and a computer, since it's right next to where the dining room and the kitchen would be. So yeah, I thought that was a good place for it. I ended up getting rid of that wall section because I wanted it to feel more open. So in this area, I'm going to put a dining room table and like a bar, I think. Or maybe I didn't put a bar, but definitely a dining room table. And I put windows, like big windows, all the way around, because I figured, I mean, if you're looking out, because if you lived on this property, I would want as many windows as possible, just because, I mean, the views would be amazing. Just, having breakfast, looking out at the ocean. Oh, amazing. That's the dream. I would love to live, like, off the ocean, or, like, on a giant cliff overlooking the ocean. That would be beautiful. So here I'm just doing the living room. And the idea to put the white siding in the house was actually inspired by Joanna Gaines. As random and funny as that sounds, I actually used to work for a company that made like rugs and pillows and throws and stuff. And they did a special line with Joanna Gaines. She's like a TV star, if you don't know. She's the host, as well as her husband, but they host Fixer Upper on HGTV. So anyway, she is obsessed with shiplap, and that's kind of what I was going for in this house, because I felt like it fit. It's not really a country house, but it's a beachy house. So yeah, I thought that would be nice, because I don't really use that too often. I normally just use like a paint or like a brick or something like that. So it was nice to do something a little different than I normally do. And I don't normally decorate this traditional either. But as I said before, it's mostly because I didn't have very many options to work with. And yeah, it was definitely challenging, but I really enjoyed it, and I think I might do more base game builds in the future, just because I know not everyone has every pack. So, and that was the whole point and the whole idea of this build. And just to say thank you to my new followers, whom I love so much. And I'm really happy that I started my channel, and I hope to get better. I hope to do better content in the future. I have some ideas, and I feel like I've gotten better since I started. So, yeah, and a big thank you to those who have been with me since the very beginning. I mean, granted, it hasn't been that long. Like, I just started my channel, I don't know, was it in September of last year or November of last year? So, it hasn't really been that long, and just the fact that I've grown so much, or I feel like I've grown so much in that little amount of time, is just really cool, and I'm really enjoying myself and in making new content. So in this build, there's a lot of places where your Sims can sit outside. There's 2 patio tables outside and a barbecue there. At this point, I was doing most of the landscaping outside. I wanted it to look a little tropical, but still be able to blend in with the surroundings. So that's what I was going for. I did put a little bit of bushes and flowers underneath because I feel like, the reason why most beach houses are in stilts is because sometimes the ocean could come in like at high tide, and it just protects the house from the ocean and in case there's a storm or something like that. So sometimes when the water recedes, it leaves behind some vegetation underneath the house. So that's what I was doing, and I thought it looked I thought it looked really nice, and I liked how it came out. I used quite a few of those little grassy plants as well as the palm trees, because you can't have a beach home without palm trees. I think this would be a really nice home, like if you have the outdoors pack where you can go to Granite Falls, and then if you had the beach mod, this might be a nice little beach bungalow for your Sims to go on vacation or something like that. So this area in the house is kind of like a little, like a sitting room, but I ended up changing the layout of it because I really liked the idea of putting a bookshelf behind the sofa. So you'll see me move that in a second. I don't think it will be functional because the sofa is right in front of it, but there is another bookshelf. I think it's downstairs, so if you can't use this one, you can use the other one downstairs. But yeah, I liked the idea of it because there's not a lot of room, so it gave me a little more space to work with. So the roof kept clipping into the room, and so what I thought to do was, since I made that stone, I put a column on like where the roof and the wall meets, so it looks like it's on purpose. And as far as like the room that's here on the left, I just made the entire wall stone, and I thought it looked kind of nice because maybe that stone is from the actual beachfront and they just incorporated it into their home. I don't really like this bed spread. I do like the bed frame. I think it matches the theme really well, but the actual like Van Gogh sunflower pattern, I don't think it really goes, but I didn't really have too many options to work with. I would have liked to use the bed that came with City Living, the one with like the sheer drapery that's coming down from the posts. Oh, I would have loved to use that bed because I think it's so perfect for this type of build. But alas, I did what I could, And if you do have other packs besides the base game, then I'm sure you can just redecorate to your liking. But yeah, so I haven't really seen this done before, but I like the idea of having these little lanterns on the posts of the fences because I needed some light, but none of the outdoor lights kind of made sense for this, so I put the little white lanterns along the fence post there, and I really like how it came out. I think I might use that in future builds. So this is the kids' room. I actually put 2 beds in here because I wanted to make sure that if they had another kid, then they would have room for one more. So you can fit a family of 4 pretty easily, I think, in this house. But as far as like the family I was thinking of, I was just thinking of a 3-person family. And yeah, I think we're almost done with the build. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you again for following and subscribing. And I can't wait to show you more content. I'm really excited about it. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.